Welcome to the Nuclear Snail channel. Today I have a guest. This is Martin from the band Wolves of War.
Hello.
He's the leader of the band, the singer and the guitar player. I finished a costume for him. Let's just start with an all-around view. Turn around slowly to show it. So that's the back view. And the sides, I'm especially happy about these shoulder pieces that I did for him. So here in the middle we have this CNC machined aluminum plate on the chest. This whole thing is made out of ABS plastic, so the base, as well as the back plates here. So we have some back plates under this bag on the back. So those are segmented like this. Yeah, as you see, it's kind of a classic shrug slash armor shoulder focused build, because that's usually where the most detail makes sense. That's where you're gonna be on all the photos and videos and so on and so forth. That's where you're gonna get most attention, because that's where your face is. Let's talk about the color composition on this one. So Martin wanted the costume to represent the darkness of his soul. I guess he wanted a lot of dark colors. That's why this is black and this is gray, and this right here, which is military belts that would usually be olive colored, so dark green, I also sprayed those black, just so that the whole vibe of the thing is a bit more, dark. However, you can see right here that if you look at it closely, if you were to open this in a photography editing application right now and sample one of those colors, you would see that this is not actually black right here. It still has dirt effects. In fact, it's almost middle gray, if you will, minus the color hue. But you still perceive it as black because the base of this is black. And it also plays well with the rest of it. But also here you can see it really well with the light shining on it from the side. Yes, it is black, but it still has some scratches. It has some dust and dirt trapped in that crevice right here. My point here is, even if you're making things that are black by design, do not leave them completely black, unless your story is that it's made of a sci-fi material that just will not take any dirt at all, like it's indestructible, then by all means, but 99.9% of all materials will not be completely black, even if you're making it black. Let's check out the leather hood. Turn with the side, please. There we go, same story here. This is, by the way, old leather scavenged from a sofa. So here's the same story. I added some dirt effects to it. So it is black, but it's not entirely black. And Martin was really particular about the hood being important, so I've put a lot of effort into that, reinforcing it with the belt on the front right here. And on the inside we have some fabric from a t-shirt. So it's not this inside of the leather against the head and the face, but instead it's this nice t-shirt stuff. It's not only more comfortable, it is also better looking because it adds an additional layer, like you can see up here. Well, it's literally an additional layer to the whole thing. You can see that the inside has a different texture than the outside, and it's not just a scavenged piece of leather left as it is, but rather it is constructed out of two layers, as you would see in a lot of like actual jackets, really. Is it actually comfortable? Did I ask you that yet?
Yes, it did. It is.
Cool. Can you take it off for a sec just to show how it looks without, and turn around slowly from the side is especially a nice view. You can see it falls nicely. Stop right there. A bit back, stop. Yes, awesome. So it keeps its form like this, unless you press it, obviously, but it keeps its form when you take it off. And yeah, I'm really happy with this hood. I'm really happy with also with these stamps right here. I did make a video about making stamps for your post-apocalyptic costumes. They're probably not something you should say right in front of your client with him like not a meter away from you, but those are not very difficult to make. I made a video about how easy those are to make, but those still add a buttload of detail because, well, they're so detailed and they're so easy to make, so I could just make them in pretty much no time. It looks like a kind of a detail that's very intricate. In this case, it's not. Some others are, this isn't, but nonetheless, it adds a lot of visual complexity. You will also, however, notice that this visual complexity is constrained to this stripe right here near his face. And the rest of the hood is pretty much barren, at least on this side. It has just, you know, some textures and stuff going on. And as for why I do that, you could reference my video about detail areas and rest areas. It's an old video, but it still holds true because it's one of the core design principles that a lot of people, and especially in post-apocalyptic costuming, forget. Chaos all over the place is not good design. You're supposed to balance this stuff out. On top here, can you tilt your head to me somehow? Yeah, awesome. On top we have this 77 stencil. It's one of Martin's lucky numbers that he told me. Face me with the front, please. Yeah, like that. So you can kind of see it from the front. It has just the right amount of fall off on the front that you can like kind of see it, and I figured it would be cool to have it on top rather than on the side, which I usually do. Can you show me the other side of the hood? This has this effect right here because that piece of leather wasn't big enough, so I had to extend it with this other piece of leather. So it naturally just has this effect here, which of course flows right into the post-apocalyptic aesthetic because, you know, things are improvised. Let's zoom out a bit and talk about those shoulder pieces. So here what I've done is add a lot of visual rhythm. Can you turn around please so the camera refocuses? Right. And the other shoulder, stop right there. That's awesome. Here you can see that it adds a lot of visual rhythm here. What I mean by rhythm is we have barren and then like pem, pang, and pem, pem, pang. You know, it's I explained it at some point. It's kind of similar to a rhythm in a musical piece, really, just that it's visual. And what it does is, well, break up the monotony that would otherwise be here if it all was just completely barren. It would also have a interesting look to it, but I wanted to have it, you know, I wanted to have those metal highlights in a lot of places. For example, here on this back plate, which is surrounded by these small highlights right here. These don't serve a practical purpose here, well, as most of the costume really, but those just add visual complexity and echo this large metallic piece in the middle. It's surrounded by those small ones, and that creates an interesting composition. This is echoed down here on this clasp, right? So those metal highlights, they reappear everywhere. Turn around again, please. You can also see, by the way, on the front that this time I didn't spray those black. Usually I do, but on this one, with the base thing being black and kind of this metallic and black being a reoccurring theme in this build, I wanted to have those as shiny as possible, which is not to say they are completely shiny and without any distressing at all. You will see also here, if you look close enough, it's kind of obvious up here, less so on these, but you will still see that there is like a small amount of dirt there present. So again, same as with the black, a basic grunging job is still necessary, so it just doesn't look like brand new. But there is no rule that you have to spray your connectors black or make them rusty or whatever for post-apocalyptic costuming. In fact, also this hose right here, I also left it silvery metallic on purpose. And yeah, while we're here, let's talk about this. This whole thing goes around the whole piece, and it looks kind of like a thick necklace, right? On the one hand, it's right within the post-apocalyptic aesthetic because it's like a gas mask hose. On the other hand, it, if we just look at it as a decoration piece that it acts as a thick-ass necklace. So that's what it is. And here in the middle, I again add some visual complexity from this relatively solid and simple piece. There are extending these pieces with a lot more complexity to them because it's like 3 different pieces in there. This is just stuck in there, by the way, and with this zip ties back here, I've added some friction, but it's still possible to just yank it out with enough force. But no one is going to be usually doing that unless crazy fans are grabbing at you. Beware of that. And in the middle here, it's all connected. So it just stays bunched together. You will also notice these 2 very important details. One is this small number right here. It's also stamped. Again, it wasn't very difficult to do technically, but it adds a lot of visual interest. Just try and imagine this costume as you see it right now without that small number thing right there. Kind of loses a lot, actually, unproportionally much so. And how do you know when to add something like this? Lots of experience and I guess analyzing it to death, or both of those. I just kind of sometimes feel when something needs an additional layer of detailing, and it was the case here. It just looked too barren with this thing being all black right here without any additional detail. So I chose to add one here. It was just that, you know, this whole necklace thing, it goes from very simple to more complex, and I felt that it needed to go even one layer more complex here, asymmetrically, so it's not all too perfect, right? And also another detail we have is this red part here, and it echoes also here on the shoulder. So here we have one piece that is sprayed red, one of those metal pieces, and this right here is sprayed yellow, to add just a couple of color accents into the whole thing. I'm not saying that you can't make something that is entirely black and white, or just entirely black, or entirely white, or entirely colorless otherwise, but I like some color contrast, some color highlights in most of my builds. So there we go. What should we talk about next? Let's talk about how this thing is built and how it closes. So here is a clasp. It goes around the back, and yeah, you see what is happening here. An important point here is this loop right here. It's not fastened. This belt just goes through the loop and fastens here, so that this corner thingy doesn't flop around, so he doesn't, when he moves his arm, he doesn't catch it there as much. Otherwise it would be not good with this corner right here. It takes a bit more time to take it on and off, but it's still quite alright, because these are the only 2 clasps, this one and that on the other side, that he needs to close or open. Turn front to me again, please. Cool. And this right here is just, as I've said, it's just ABS plastic. I also didn't bother to bevel the edges on this, by the way. I did sandpaper them a bit, so it's less likely to cut somebody, but I didn't give it like a strong bevel. Yes, it looked better, but it was just an unproportional amount of work for that small detail. He did the t-shirt by himself, by the way. Turn around again. Well, I just saw it on the camera. It looked nice. Check this out. This wasn't me, that was him. So good job there. So that's what it looks like from the back. This clasp here doesn't do anything except look cool. And this right here is, yeah, a small bag. He can put stuff into it. He can put like a water bottle into it, or just leave it empty. Right now there is just some paper in it to make it more fluffy and stuffed. I already talked about this back metal thingy. There is not much else to talk about here really, except that this makes him look, especially from the back, you can see how much broader it makes him look. Turn around again slowly, please. It was one of his wishes to have something that looks a bit more martial, something that looks like a warrior. So that's why I did this kind of a overall V shape, right? Broad shoulders, and it gets smaller to the waist, kind of like a triangle shape, right? And that's why there is also some fluff going on here, like you would find on a Viking, for example, or on some kind of a berserker. We will get to this underpiece soon. Before we take this off, let us have you put on the guitar belt. So the guitar belt, so actually it's just this whole shoulder stuff. It's kind of attached here loosely. Well, not loosely, it's attached here and also on one point on the back. And those are attached to each other in the middle. But something could still be woven into here. Like if he wanted to add like a bunch of hanging stuff here, he could do so. Really not just on this D-ring, but also in between those plates or whatever, between those belts. Those are belts. So the guitar belt can just go in here, and like I don't think he's gonna be losing the belt anytime soon if it's there. Of course it can still slide out, and he can still take it out, turn around. And on the back it goes right above this. Like yes, it covers up the metal plate, but you know, when he is taking photos or whatever, he can not have the belt, and then it looks like this. And when he's on the stage, he can have his belt here. And there is like a small loop right here where the belt also goes. The fat one won't fit into it. Maybe we will adjust it. Maybe we'll open this up. Turn around more, please, so they can see it better. So here is like a loop, and its diameter is constrained by this washer right here, or by this bolt and washer combo. So the fat belt won't go through it right now, but it doesn't need to, because this happens to be exactly as far as it needs to go. And this then goes to the front, to his guitar, like this, and turn around again, and take the belt in your hands. Take the belt in your hands, metal man. La, la, la. So that's what it looks like with the belt. We can get rid of that again. The reason for that was that with a big shoulder like this, which creates a slope, I feared that otherwise the belt would just slide off, making it difficult for him to, well, play, which is an important thing. And let's have the guitar as well. An important thing here was that on the belly there is not too much stuff, so that he can have his guitar there. And yes, the guitar will interfere with this a bit and scratch up a bit, but not too badly. How would you move on stage and do stuff?
So I would play a song.
Also down here, he has this 50 caliber belt. It says so on it, so it's a 50 cal belt. Turn around for me slowly, please. On the side are, stop. On the side are some bags. Those are from like a tactical vest. And I have just put a stencil on them as well as some metal highlights down here too. So it kind of echoes the upper body design. It's a pretty basic belt, but I still wanted it to echo it. And keep turning around. Not much going on the backstop. It's just like a military belt with a old leather belt on top of it. And here are some bags. Stop right there. Added some thicker belts with clasps to those, so those close nicely. It's not really necessary because they already close with the Velcro that's inside them, but I just wanted to add some visual interest and some, well, fake functionality look pretty much. And also sprayed those with this kind of lilac color right here through a net, which gives this kind of a modern camo look. And you can see up here also some stamps. So this is just all painted to look like this. I quite like the look. It looks not overloaded, but still visually interesting. And yeah, he can put stuff in here like his receiver or a transmitter from the guitar and whatnot. And these here actually slide on the belt. So those two belts are separate. Well, they're connected on the ends, but everywhere else there is a distance between them. All right, turn around. And yeah, it just opens up with a normal clasp. And move those bags to the front a bit. So you can see as soon as he has them there, it immediately balances out how thick the design on top is by adding some more thickness to the hip as well. There we go. And now he can just pull it off. Show me the inside of the armor, please. Just open this whole thing up. Yeah, so this is how this is connected. I'm never doing this again in my life because it was extremely inefficient. Let's hold it here so I can see it in the light. Yeah. So it's connected with belts, which per se is not super inefficient, but it's just like a lot of belts. What I should have done instead is just cut out a pattern out of one piece of fabric and then put armor plates on top of that instead of these million belts. Problem with that was whenever I would apply torque to one of those with my what is called electric screwdriver, it would just shift the belt and that would misalign the plates. So it took a lot of fiddling to just get them right. So one plate doesn't sit like all the way there or all the way here, basically destroying this pretty clean geometric composition, which is what it lives from. But as you see, this is pretty mobile, this segmented kind of a build. So he can fit it on top of different things. Someone else could fit it on top of them. He can fit it whether he has a padding or a winter jacket or not. If he gets thinner, if he gets thicker, it will just go with him. And it also doesn't restrict movement too much. All right. Same on the back, by the way. Just some segments here. You can see this belt, which fastens the armor. It is just looped through here. So when he adjusts clasp on the one side, it can just it is enough. He doesn't have to adjust on both sides. Just to show it, closing the eyes is a good idea when doing that. Yeah, no need to close those. These here, by the way, they just go connect to the belt that just is the hood belt, but they don't do anything. Like this can be just opened or removed or whatever, because under that is the actual belt that holds it. So here I've just created a belt loop with those D-rings just to add some visual interest. He has to watch out a bit when headbanging, as we just found out, to not chin slam those. But it looks cool. So yeah. Alright, so this padding right here, it's artificial fur. It was a vest or an undervest from a jacket. And these right here, it's actually pretty interesting. You can see this curve right here, it used to be here. So this seam was here on the side on the vest, and I just cut it open and brought it here and overlapped those parts in the middle to create this triangular design. Cut off a piece of those down here because it was a bit too long and put it on the shoulders to add a lot of fluffiness there. Turn around, please. And from the back, as you see, it looks, well, like he hunted a wolf. Which I think fits the theme of the band's name, Wolves of War. Turn around again, please. Yeah. So this, the good part about this is, since it's completely separate from the armor, it can be just taken off if it is too hot, or it can be replaced by something else. Of course, it looks less cool without it, but again, modularity is one of the things that I'm a big fan of when designing post-apocalyptic costumes. It can be worn with something else, like a scarf or any other sort of fabric, really. So it looks still visually full, but not as warm. This is one of the great advantages of modularity. Anyway, thank you, Martin. It's great to have you here. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have fun crafting. Bye!